The night before the death race across the wastelands is set to begin, your uncle, the great inventor Slate Cannoli, got kidnapped by the ruthless No Side gang. The only way to get him back is to race his coil runner against the gang yourself. Win, and they'll give back your uncle. Lose, and you'll forfeit the coil runner and all his other creations. As the grueling race gets underway, you find yourself falling further and further behind. Your only chance is to take a shortcut your uncle told you about, the Flux Ravine Gambit. Fortunately, the coil runner comes equipped with emergency turbo thrusters. Unfortunately, your uncle was a notorious tinkerer, and the system still had some kinks to work out. Just minor things like the ignition exploding, the reactor leaking, or the oxygen levels depleting, any of which would end your racing career immediately. Before his kidnapping, Uncle Slate determined that each of these critical failures was the ultimate result of a chain reaction originating in the thrusters. He was also certain that while one factor could trigger two different effects, and two factors could each independently lead to the same effect, no effect is caused by two factors in conjunction. However, Uncle Slate never got around to pinpointing which thruster was responsible for which error. All you have are the notes from his test runs. 1. When thrusters B and C are on, the fuel gauge glows. 2. When thrusters A, B, and D are on, the fuel gauge glows and the helium tank rattles. 3. When thrusters C, D, and E are on, the fuel gauge glows and the gravitometer spins. 4. When thrusters A, D, and E are on, the gravitometer spins and the helium tank rattles. 5. Shortly after the helium tank rattles and the gravitometer spins, the ignition explodes and the oxygen levels deplete. 6. Shortly after the fuel gauge glows and the gravitometer spins, the reactor leaks. You need to use as many thrusters as possible to give yourself the best chance at clearing the gap, without triggering any of the three catastrophic failures. Which thrusters should you activate?